This screencast is looking at different development projects, different types of aid. And the first one we're going to look at is a large-scale aid project, which is the Cahora Bassa Dam in Mozambique. It's an example of bilateral aid that occurred between the governments of Portugal and Mozambique in the 1960s. Now, it was completed 3 decades later after civil war between 1977 and 1992 prevented development and the use of the scheme, as well as damaging its infrastructure. Renewal work did not begin until 1995, ending in 1997. It's the largest HEP scheme in southern Africa, with 5 huge turbines in a surface area second only to Nasser behind Egypt's huge Aswan Dam. 3 major dams have been constructed in the River Zambezi basin. Now, dams are often seen by countries as a great way of raising the development level of a country. They offer energy for other industries. The energy they produce is environmentally clean, and the construction of such large structures generates instant employment in construction and its associated industries. Mozambique is one of the poorest countries in the world, and they attempted to use dam building as a path out of poverty through the construction of the Cahora Bassa Dam. This is a good example of bilateral aid, as although Mozambique now has full ownership of the dam, initially Portugal had an 82% stake, and Mozambique only 18%. Mozambique also had to contract much of the work to private companies that diminished their share of profits further. Now, Mozambique desperately needs a boost to its development due to its low HDI, high infant mortality rate and low life expectancy. As we can see on the screen here, this is a map showing a number of African countries and showing where the Cahora Bassa Dam is, which is this point here. As you can see, the red dashed lines are the country borders. This is Mozambique here, and the River Zambezi runs along here, and there are 3 major dams along the mighty Zambezi River, which passes through Congo, Angola, Zimbabwe, and then finally Mozambique. Now, it's created a lake that is 292 kilometres long, up to 32 kilometres wide, and a maximum of 157 metres deep behind the dam. And as you can see, it's this area here. The dam blocks the 4th largest artificial lake in Africa. Now, the dam provides an important power import facility to the South African grid. It transmits 1,920 megawatts of power from the Cahora Bassa generating station on the Zambezi River in northern Mozambique. 1 megawatt can power 1,000 US homes on average, so the dam is very good at producing electricity. However, only 1% of homes in rural Mozambique have a direct electricity supply, so locals have not really benefited from the energy produced by the dam. This is because most of the power is actually being sold to South Africa, which boosts the national economy but doesn't benefit the citizens at a local level. This is unfortunate, as the dam has enough potential to meet most of Mozambique's power needs. Now, the dam could produce more energy, but its potential is limited by other dams upstream that keep river flows very low. At other economic levels, whilst the local shrimp industry has been destroyed at Kapenta, fishery industry has developed, harvesting 10,000 tonnes in 2003. The potential for the dam to reduce flooding has also been a disappointment, with floods downstream of the dam in 1978. Mozambique has also had floods on other rivers in 2000 and in January 2013, which killed 36 people and displaced 70,000 people. These floods are an environmental limit to development, which the dams such as Cahora Bassa will hope to reduce. Now, having 3 dams in one basin has caused environmental damage. River flow is low because so much water has been held back in reservoirs. As we mentioned, the shrimp fishing industry in the lower valley has almost been destroyed, and a new dam, the Mapuna Unkua, was planned in 2005 downstream for Cahora Bassa, even though the existing dam is not operating at anywhere near its full capacity. The environmental consequences of this are uncertain but risky. So, has the dam been a success? Well, certainly it has much greater potential than has ever been realised. Perhaps if it had concentrated on serving Mozambique, its success would have been much greater. Also, if it was to work in harmony with other dams, its total potential might serve the whole region of Mozambique, plus its neighbouring countries. It was hoped that the Cahora Bassa Dam would bring major river flooding under control. Some success has been experienced, but with more careful control, much more could have actually been achieved. The second case study that we're going to look at is a medium scale aid project. We're going to look at Action Aid in Kolkata, India. It's also known as Calcutta. Action Aid is a UK charity working in local communities in the developing world to alleviate poverty. Its 6 target areas of relief are HIV and AIDS, hunger and food, women's rights, the right to education for all, the right to security, and the right to good government. Action Aid works in the poorest districts of Calcutta, which is this area here, and as I said, also known as Calcutta, as you can see in the brackets, such as Dharavi, known as the world's worst slum. This area has unimaginably high population densities and few services. Some of Action Aid's work is done through sponsorship schemes. Donors are encouraged either to give monthly to general projects or to sponsor a child in his or her family or community. This is a successful approach. Donors like the idea of improving the life chances of an individual, especially that of a child. Action Aid donors feel they are doing something worthwhile for real people. Low technology is used, local people benefit, both individuals and communities, but costs remain low. Environmental quality is improved as sustainability is an important aspect of Action Aid's work. Final case study we're going to look at is a small-scale aid project by the Community Youth Empowerment Programme in Uganda. Now, Restless Development is a UK-based organisation placing gap year students, since you take a year out, in development projects in countries like Uganda. They work with school pupils and farmers. Volunteer UK and Ugandan students work together to raise awareness of the AIDS risk in order to prevent as many infections as possible, especially among young people through non-formal education techniques in schools such as role play and drama. They improve the knowledge of environmental health concerns such as nutrition, sanitation and waste management. They teach energy conservation methods such as how to construct a fuel-efficient stove or how to start a tree nursery to provide precious fuel wood. Finally, to promote sustainable organic farming ideas. Now, projects have included the following examples. In Kabaja village, the 3 natural springs were polluted. Restless Development students constructed a covered water tank to keep pollution out. People took their supplies from this by tap, so water never lay open to risk. Appropriate technologies improved living standards as well as enhancing the environment. The second example of a project is in Wanyanga village. Both the primary and secondary schools received Restless Development students as volunteer teachers who provided a number of lessons and workshops over the course of 6 months. These focused on sexual health awareness and improving living life skills. These projects were well received but suffered setbacks due to issues with school fees affecting the attendance of pupils. Now, we need to know each of these case studies. A case study at a large scale, a medium scale and a small scale aid project, knowing the benefits and disadvantages of each, as well as what are the advantages of having small and medium scale projects over your larger scale projects. We'll be looking at them in our lesson.